Hey guys, it's Alec here. We're going to be going over the map of Miami. Now, this is going to be the actual map of Miami, how I think of Miami, how people in Coral Gables / Coconut Grove, south-ish of Miami, think of Miami. It's a lot different than the actual map of Miami. So, starting out right here, we're going to talk about Brickell. Brickell is Brickell, mini New York. It's warm, city living, walkable. All of this is considered Brickell right here. We're going to be going over the southern part of first. This river right here is a big divider in Miami. You got the north side and then you got the south side. So Brickell is mini New York. If you come outside of Brickell, you get into this space right here, the Coral Way area. This is called Shenandoah, Silver Bluff Estates. This is great real estate that is still undervalued because it's between Brickell, Coral Gables, and Coconut Grove. Brickell, Gables, and Grove are all very expensive, popular areas. So this area right here is still a little bit undervalued. A lot of people are attacking that. But yeah, so you got Brickell, Shenandoah, then you have Coral Gables. I'm a huge fan of Coral Gables. It's very family oriented. The house sizes are great. The lot sizes are good. You got golf courses. You have the University of Miami. So it's great. Coral Gables, right here. All right. So just outside of Coral Gables, once you pass this street right here, going north and south, this is 57th. This is 57th Street. I'm trying to get it so it shows up for you guys, but 57th Street right here. Once you go west of 57th, you start getting into what's called the boondocks of Miami. What I mean by this is you start getting pretty far out there. This is pretty far west. From here, which is where my house is currently, I'm right on the fringe, guys. I'm on the fringe of coolness, but I'm not yet in the coolness in Coral Gables. Once you get out here, it starts becoming a pretty far drive into Brickell, into Coconut Grove. Gables is a little bit close, but again, your goal is to be in this southern triangle, we call it. The southern triangle consists of Brickell, Gables, Grove. A little bit west of that, till 67th, it's called like the mid boonies. Let's call that the midway boonies. West of 67th, you're in the dang boonies. You are out there. If you're moving to Miami from some other states or somewhere, you definitely do not want to go past 67th Ave. It's just, there's not much going on out there. Like my life in particular revolves around Brickell, Gables, Grove, this southern triangle. And that's the most desirable spot in the south of the river in Miami. We can talk about Pinecrest. Yeah, Pinecrest is for super wealthy people that want a lot of space, have probably a family because the yards are big, but also want to spend an hour in the car to get to Brickell. A lot of the NBA players live down here in Pinecrest, and they drive all the way up here to the stadium. Now, maybe they take a helicopter, but like I've never really understood like why everybody decides to purchase way down here in Pinecrest. That's crazy. It is pretty dang far. Once you start getting into this area, like this area is the best in Pinecrest because it's still closest to Brickell. So this is a booming area, but like way down here in Pinecrest, it's just, I've looked at a bunch of houses there. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Once you start getting south of Pinecrest down here, you get to Cutler, Palmetto. Oh my God, talk about the boonies. That's the boonies of the south. You got the boonies of the west out here in Kendall. Anything past 67th, don't do it. 57th is the end of Coral Gables. And 8th, 8th, Tamiami Trail right here. Anything north of Tamiami Trail is going to be considered a good development opportunity. Between the river and north of Tamiami Trail, good development opportunities. A lot of stuff in Little Havana. Clearly, you can't build in the ocean here, so all the development is moving out west. Um, Lots of multifamily right here in Little Havana, but yeah, I think it's up and coming. I still think it's a nice area. It's convenient. You know what I mean? It's convenient. You don't have to cross the bridges, which is a nightmare because there's so many boats in Miami. You don't have to cross the river to get up to the north here. Um, yeah. So new development opportunities in the Havana. All right. Let's talk about South Beach real quick. Key Biscayne. Key Biscayne is not even relevant in my world. I've been there like 4 times to go to the beach. It's like, I don't know. I don't want to go out there. Too much driving. South Beach. I never go to South Beach. Don't really like South Beach at all. It's just so far from Coral Gables and Coconut Grove and Brickell. To get over that bridge is huge. I plan on having a family and kids. So Coral Gables, Coconut Grove, Pinecrest, that's where all these the high schools are. Ransom, Gulliver, etc. So we're going to talk about the Southern Triangle a lot. There it is. What's the Southern Triangle? It's Brickell, Gables, Grove. So not too big of a fan of Miami Beach. Now, Brickell to downtown. The river is the border. All the boats going through keep opening these stinking bridges, and it's ridiculous. So I personally tried to honestly not go to downtown that often. I don't really like it. Brickell's the more developed, newer, up and coming, or the developed newer area. It's more established than downtown. There's a lot of redevelopment still happening in downtown. So yeah, once you cross this river here, lots of development going on. Once you start getting up into here, Edgewater, in my opinion, has the best views in all of Miami. Because when you're down here in Brickell Key has great views, and it's a great walking path. But if you look, you're looking at the port. This port, to me, is the ugliest darn thing. I don't know why they put it right there. I think it's ridiculous. I'm not sure why they did that. But if you're in Edgewater up here, you look across to the Venetian Islands, which is beautiful. You got open water right here. And then you look onto South Beach. That's amazing. That's a beautiful view. Not some port with all the containers and crates and cranes and all this nonsense. Yes. And then you got the design district up here. That's like way too far north to ever go to for the Southern Quadrant. Now, mind you, I'm giving the perspective of a Southern Quadrant liver. If you're a Northern Quadrant liver, meaning downtown, Edgewater, all Wynwood, which a lot of people are, fine to you, Miami District. But if you're a Northern Quadrant liver, you're probably not coming down to the Southern Quadrant that much because the traffic is absolutely insane. You can do it, of course, but there's not that much overlay. And I typically see people either leaning super heavy to the southern part of Miami or super heavy to the north side. It's kind of like the river's like a big divider, and people are really passionate about their one thing. Southern Quadrant, Northern Quadrant. Miami Beach people love Miami Beach. Do they come to the Southern Quadrant often? No. Do they go to the Northern Quadrant? Yeah, they probably go to the Northern Quadrant quite a bit, but they're not coming down to Coral Gables all the time. Way too far. I mean, the further you keep climbing, a lot of people like Miami Shores. I don't know, North Miami, all that stuff's good, but then you start getting to outside of Miami, outside of Brickell. Brickell's a special place. Yeah. I don't know. So that's a little bit about the Southern Quadrant, Northern Quadrant, Miami Beach. That's just a little bit about the actual map in Miami. Hopefully it was helpful.